Hello there, this is Evelyn from Evelyn Art, back with a fairy tale video. First warning, I'm sorry that my voice is kind of awful. I got the plague, but, you know, isolation, might as well get some stuff done, right? So, yeah, that's been fun. If anyone who doesn't know, I work in a supermarket, so, like, the fact that I made it to year 3, I'm pretty proud of myself, but, you know, I'm still upset. It's fine. It's like, you know, day 2. Let's go. Woo. But yeah, my voice sounds kind of disgusting. I'll try and edit out the worst of it, but I'm sorry in advance. Anyway, moving along. This piece is actually a redraw of something I drew in 2019. The original was just a sketch from one of my sketchbooks, which I am planning to do a sketchbook tour at some point, as soon as I figure out how to do that. Like record with my phone in a way with like a tripod, but I've got a very small tripod. Anyway, I need to stop getting distracted. But yeah, so it was originally sketched in my sketchbook. I was really proud of myself just because I drew tables in the background and I was like, ooh, this is leveling it up for me. Yeah, and so like, I'll turn it into something digital. I wasn't planning to do like a full piece back in 2019, the original. I'll show it here somewhere. But yeah, because it's like, based off a sketch, I just wanted to, you know, work up the characters a bit. Try and, I think originally I wanted to make the background even more extravagant, but I decided not to because I got lazy, which, you know, fair enough, core personality trait. But I wanted to redraw it for a really long time, so I did. And I'm really happy with how this turned out because I'm just like, it's everything I wanted it to be. I still think I could have pushed it further. I forgot to actually keep in the "Hey Lucy" that Natsu's crying out, but it's fine, it's fine. I'm happy with how it looks for as much, you know, time I spent on it. This is one of the ones where it's like, I'll work on this between when I'm bored with something else that I'm working on, so it was very, all over the place while I was working on it. That's why I redrew parts of Mira so many times. I was never happy with how she looked, but her first face that I drew at the very beginning of this video, I drew like 6 months before I really dedicated to working on this piece, so yikes. This isn't the face that I have for her in the end, don't worry. I'm still not completely happy, but at least it looks like Mira. So the original sketch I drew because my first few zines were fairy tale zines. I've only participated in a couple of zines, like art zines, you know, in case you don't know, a group of artists. I found a lot of them on Tumblr. They tend to open applications and you can apply, and sometimes you'll get in and you just produce a new art piece. And I have a lot of zines from artists. I really love them. I think they're a lot of fun. But yeah, I do know originally zines weren't made to like be as kind of what they are now. I haven't participated in a zine for a while, but I still apply to quite a few. They're a lot of fun, and I like collaborating with people. I don't know, it's fun to push myself. The original of this, nor is this zine piece. They're quite old, so you'd have to like go back on my Instagram to find them, but you know, I like fairy tale, and I like that there was multiple fairy tale zines going on at the time. I think it's because like season 3 was coming out, or the original had just ended, like the manga had just ended. That doesn't seem right though. I don't know. I read the manga. I had a big fairy tale phase. I really liked fairy tale. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not a masterpiece by any means. It's the core parts of shonen, and I know there's all the friendship stuff, like the friendship saves the day, but the characters were just so good, and I know they didn't really get development, but they got just enough that I was happy. I still love all these characters even though I don't watch the show. I actually never got around to watching season 3. I think I do plan to watch the 100-Year Quest, or at least see how it goes, because there was no way I was going to read the manga for it. I feel kind of bad, but I don't know. I didn't want to put a lot of money into collecting it just in case I was disappointed and my library didn't have it, which is how I read the original. Yeah, and it's not on the Shonen Jump app, I don't think. That's where I read a lot of manga. The Shonen Jump app is really good. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I think Fairy Tail is just a lot of fun. If you're new to anime, it's definitely a good starting point, even though it's lots of fan service. I don't like the fan service at all. And when I try to rewatch parts of it, it's just a bit of a slap to the face. It's like, oh man, this is awful. But, you know, it's fine. You just have to desensitize to it. Yeah. My favorite characters were like all of them, to be honest. They're all so great. Well, not really. Look, I'm just, it's so heavy with nostalgia. I watched this not long after watching like Sword Art Online and Ouran High School Host Club, you know, the classics. I don't like a lot of the ones that I originally watched. Ouran High School Host Club still lives up. I love that show. But you know, it's just so much fun. And I still love shonen. It's one of my favorite genres. But I haven't caught up with a lot of the real popular ones. I've read and watched Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is really good. Yeah. Anyway, so another tangent. Now I'm working on the floorboards. So if you can't tell what I'm doing, I spent way too long on these floorboards. Just for fun. I thought it would add a bit of texture to the background, and it kind of did. I don't think it takes away from the main characters, but who knows. I mentioned that Fairy Tail is also really nostalgic just because I got into Fairy Tail right as I was trying to get back into drawing. So going through my, gotta draw anime phase, which, you know, is a really good way to learn to draw people and stuff. And I still stand by it. Like, you know, I still haven't perfected anatomy, but it got me far enough to be able to like draw what I wanted to draw. And like the character designs are so appealing that I just love drawing them. Even now I still draw Lucy and Urza like all the time. It's funny that Urza's not in this piece. She is my favorite, I think. Like of all the characters, Urza is probably my favorite. Yeah. I also really love the Urza and Kagura ship. It's funny because when I was into Fairy Tail, I was into like all the straight ships, which was odd considering where I am now. And I still like them, obviously. Like, I was so into them, there's no way I could not be fond of them now. But it's funny looking back and being like, I'm surprised I didn't get into, like, this sapphic ship or whatever. Yeah. Also, just gotta say, Grand Magic Games is the best arc. And if you're gonna get into the Fairy Tail, you just gotta get 200 episodes in, you know? Just gotta get up to that part and then you're good. I love Grand Magic Games. It was probably worth watching the whole show for. Yeah, sorry that this video is a little bit chaotic, you know, gravelly voice, wish it sounded sexy, but oh god, it does not. And yeah, sorry that my topics are all over the place. But here's the final thing, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I hope you have a lovely day, a happy month, and an excellent week. See ya!